Hey everybody, how's it going? I wanted to do this and put it into the public realm. Um, so I'm going to be reading some things from the law, of course. So just give me a second. Alrighty, here we go. Anyway, to get this smaller. Here I am. Shut up, rascal. How hard is that? Shut up. Leave me alone. Boy doors or something. I'm busy. That's my cat. It's my best friend. He wants me to play and I don't want to. So I'm going to start right here. It's a reference to British Columbia Motor Vehicle Registration Act. And it was a case that was present on here in Canada back in 1979, which is not that long ago. In the matter of the Constitutional Question Act, RSBC .1979C.63, and in the matter of reference, our Section 94, Paragraph 2 of the Motor Vehicle Act, RSBC 1979 C 288, comma, as amended by the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act 1982, BC, Chapter 36, I guess, C36, file number 17590, 1984, November 15th to 1985, December 17th. Present was C.J. Dixon and Chenard, McIntyre, and Beats. Lamer, Wilson, and Ladon JJ. And some French people that were fighting for this out west. On an appeal from the Court of Appeal for British Columbia. Constitutional law. The Charter of Rights, right to life, liberty, and security of the person, and the right not to be deprived thereof, except in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. Whether or not absolute liability offense with mandatory imprisonment in breach of that right. Meaning of term, principles of fundamental justice, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Sections 1, Section 7, Sections 8, Section 9, Section 10, Sections 11, Section 12, 13, 14, all constitutional acts of 1982, and Section 52, the Canadian Bill of Rights, Section 2C, Motor Vehicle Act, RSBC 1979, Section 288, Section 94, Chapter 1 and 2, Criminal Law, absolute liability offense with a mandatory imprisonment, Charter of Right to liberty and right not to be deprived thereof, except in accordance with principles of fundamental justice, whether or not offense in breach of that charter right. The BC Motor Vehicle Act provided for a minimum period of imprisonment for the offense of driving on a highway. Now that means one is at work and using a company vehicle or his automobile has been equipped to use in commerce, in business, so it becomes a motor vehicle. People get to learn this. Um, or industrial road without a valid driver's license, and that's true. You cannot operate in commerce without a license, and but commerce and traveling into two totally different things. This guy was under suspension, Section 94 2 of the Act. Moira provided that this was an offense for one of absolute liability in which guilt was established by the proof of driving. Whether or not the driver knew of the prohibition or suspension, the Court of Appeal on reference by provincial government found in Section 94.2 to be of no force or effect at all. So even as he had a license and he was driving, it's still where it was suspended. They still could not bother him because it said here no force or effect, as it was inconsistent with Section 7 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the right to life, liberty, and security of person, and the right not to be deprived of thereof except in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. That decision was appealed to this court. Now, Eld, the appeal should be dismissed, but it didn't work. Per Dickinson, CJ, and Beats Shenard Lamer and Ladrine JJ, of course, the same crowd again. A law with the potential of convicting a person who really has done nothing wrong, offends the principles of fundamental justice, and violates a person's right to liberty under Section 7 of the Charter, if imprisonment is available as a penalty. The analysis of a Section 7 of Charter 7, of course, from Charter was limited to determining the scope of the words principles of fundamental justice. That phrase is not to be preceded right, but a qualifier to the protected right, not to be deprived of life, liberty, and security of person. Its function is to set parameters of the right. Interpretation of the term must be with reference to the protected rights, but not so as to frustrate or stultify them. And in interpretation, equating fundamental justice with natural justice would not only be wrong in that it would strip the protected interests of most of their content, but also would be inconsistent with the affirmative propulsive expression of those rights. Section 8 of the Charter and 14 address specific deprivations of the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. Now, I can go on, but I'm not getting a lot of people here. I just want people to know that the principles of fundamental justice are the basic tenets and principles not only of our fundamental justice process, but also of its components. And we need to learn these things, and we need to free ourselves from this slavery. And I hope that I'll get someone to join me sooner or later down the road. Cheers. Namaste. Oh, I think I'll stay on and see if someone comes on. Life in a small community on the ocean in Newfoundland. Hmm. Do 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 do. Is there anybody out there? We're gonna have to do this another time, I think, because I'll take the coffee. I hope that people check me out. Check out this little thing, and we'll do this again.